And we'll start with the pipe tool, and we'll have a look at all of our settings. And it's going to remember the settings, of course, from the last one that we did. And what we want to do here is we want to start up high. So again, we're going to say slope off, and we're going to start with, say, an example of an offset of, let's go 1200. Okay, so I'm 1200 off of level 2. I'll zoom in here a little bit. And I'll say, okay, I'm going to go from about here to about here at no slope at 1200. And then I pick. And then what I do is I change my elevation back to be 0. And then from there, it's naturally going to go to there because that's also at 0. Okay, and you can see what's going on over here. And then hit escape. So it's going to add in that segment, and it should be showing it. It must be outside of my section box. Let me just make my section box a little bigger here. There we go. Click back there. And you'll notice it also, because I was so close to the end, it actually added an elbow in there. And it also started with a 150. Okay, so what do I do if I want to change that after the fact? Okay, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick on, I can do it from either place, but I'll pick on this segment. And then I'm going to hover up here and hit tab and then pick. And that'll grab, it'll pinch between those two segments. So if you hover over a segment and pick, and then go to another place, hover and tab, it'll pick the chain between there. Now from there, I should be able to go in here and say, sorry about that, you guys are 100s, and it's going to readjust it all quite nice. So Revit's pretty forgiving. Now, the other thing is I didn't want that to do that. So what happens if I just grab this? I'm going to use your shift key to keep it straight. Shift is your ortho, keeps it nice and straight. If I do that, it's naturally going to add in a T connection there for me. Let's zoom in here a little bit further. Okay, so it's going to add that in, and you can flip that around as well. Let's try something else. I just want to see here. Let's do an undo. Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to pick on here, and I'm going to hit the plus sign right here. Boop. It's going to add that in. Okay. Now what I can do is pick on here, and then you right click at the connector and you say draw pipe. It's going to know enough to pick up the elevation and everything off of there if you're not sure, but it's right there automatically inherit. And then we can draw another segment in there, hit escape, escape, pick over here, pick on this object, shift middle mouse so you hover around that object, zoom out a little bit. Now maybe just to speed things up, we'll say, well, why don't we just copy this along? What would happen if we did a window like this, and then just went copy and said multiple, and then went here, and you can type in a number like 1300, and it'll go that 1300 units away. Because we said multiple, we can go 1500, type in any number, add one more in, then hit escape, escape, click out. Okay, so you're allowed to copy that just like anything else. Okay, you can also pick on this at any point and go to the offset and change this to be, maybe it isn't 1200. Maybe that one's a meter. Oh, duct has been modified to be in the opposite direction, causing connections to be invalid. Delete elements. Did I type in something wrong there? Let's try that again. Pick on here. Elevation, offset. Let's just pick one of these numbers instead. 900. That's better. So then we can pick on here and go and pick some preset elevations if we want. Okay, and we could even just nudge it if you use your arrow key. I'm nudging it up vertically. Shift, arrow key makes big nudges. So I've, altered those pipes a little bit, but at this point they're all pretty much flat. Okay, so now maybe we want to add in a little bit of slope to that. So then this is what you do. You can do this. This is what's nice in piping is you can take this as a kind of system or a group of pipes and then add a sloping system. You don't have to add them all in. You can play with that. You can only slope, this segment or, from here up to, here including these two guys. So it's kind of neat. So watch, if you hover over here as normal, tab grabs that main branch, and then tab, 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 tab. Where is it? I want to grab them all. It's not highlighting them. What if I try it from here? Now, is that because they didn't get connected? Yeah, that is. That pipe goes right through. These guys did not get tied in. Isn't that interesting? So watch how we're going to fix this. I'm going to go delete. I'm going to delete all these little fixtures. The ones that don't work. And now I'm just going to use my modify and my extend. And I'm going to use extend multiple. And I'm going to pick this first and then pick on here and here and there. Pick out. Escape, escape. Now I've got the right segments. There we go. Hover, tab, tab, tab. That's what I want. Pick. Now I have it all selected, and now I can go in here and use the wonderful sloping tool. Slope. And then in there I can set my slope. Notice the finish and cancel button. So 1% is good. And then what you want to do is, this is defining the low point. So this is sloping up. So it's sloping away from this point. So if you want, you can go in here and watch when you pick slope control point, it'll move it this way. So it realizes that this is the low point. So it's saying, okay, either it's sloping up this way or it's sloping up this way. So we want it basically sloping down this way. So that means that is up. And we hit finish. And what it's going to do is it'll also slope these top segments. So this segment, all of the flat segments have now been sloped. So if I pick in here, that is now got a 1% slope on it. I'm going to go SD on the keyboard to make it a little easier to see. So if I pick on here, let's isolate these objects. Watch. Hover, tab, 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 click. I'm going to go to my sunglasses and say isolate these elements. Boom. There we go. So now I have that. Okay. And if you click on here, each one of these segments is now sloping 1%. Right there. And then this is vertical. And then this is 1%. And then these are all at 1% down to here. This is at 1% slope. Isn't that wonderful? So then from there, you can nudge these around if you want. If you wanted to pick on here, you could still change this elevation. You can pick on these numbers if you want within reason. Change those numbers and it'll change the slope. You can also just pick on it, and if you use your arrow key, you can move it down and it'll continue to maintain that 1% slope. Okay, I was using a big nudge there. If you grab this and try to move it up or down, it's going to give you a problem. You can only change that within reason. There's other ways of getting bigger slopes on pipes, definitely, but with this method, it's trying to keep it within gradual sloping, low sloping. So there's a good way to grab a bunch of pipes in a certain segment and have them all properly sloping at 1%.